without hurting the greenhouse. Oh, shit. A lot of people ask me, Crane, have you started gardening this year? And I'm like, I have already started gardening since fall. But wait, since summer, wait, since last spring, wait, since last winter. So it is a tricky question because I grow a lot of perennial flowers. I grow a lot of cool flowers, and these flowers, it can take forever to start from seed. For example, the sweet William, right? I started them in or maybe early summer last year. I planted them in the garden and they just stay in the garden, and they did nothing until, the following spring until they bloom. For something like Rudbeckia, I started them 1.5 years ago, I think. Not last summer, the previous summer, right? I started them from seed, then I planted them in my garden in fall, then I see them grow in spring, and then I harvest them in summer, and then I cut them back in fall last year, and then I am expecting them to rebloom again next spring. And these are the snapdragon that I started it in early January this year. The reason why I started them in food container plastic lid because I'm not sure if they're going to germinate. Because for example, this one, this is very old seed. You see Madame Butterfly 2022. And I saw a lot of seed here, but only one germinate. This one tried to survive but struggling. On the other hand, this is also Madame Butterfly, same variety. However, the seed is 2024, so the germination rate is higher. This is another old seed too. And that is why I started them in this very thin plastic food container lid, because I don't want to waste my soil, right? If I start them in soil block, like what I did last year, a lot of the blocks will have zero germination and I would have a lot of soil. I would have wasted a lot of soil and also my energy and my time, right? So I just, kind of test them, sowing them here and see that only one of them germinate. This is a new variety that I just got the seed this year. It is called Twinny Apple Blossom. I'm very excited about it. And when I prick out the baby seedling, I just try to handle the leaves, instead of the roots or the stem, because if you hurt the roots or the stem, the plant will very struggle. But if you hurt the leaf will grow back very fast. So I would rather damage the leaves, instead of the stem or the roots. This is something that I used for my teeth long time ago, but I stopped doing it, so I just use it to pick the seedling without hurting the stem and the roots. Just do that. For teeny tiny baby like this, I'm gonna scoop the whole section, just like that. Then just drop the whole thing on the the pot. For something like this guy, you see the roots kind of exposed there. So it's gonna cover it with the soil. Like that. You can also transplant your snapdragon babies into a broad tray, okay? And just plant them together, but give them some space without separate them in a separate pot. Because snapdragon roots, they can be disturbed, but they're not gonna grow as fast as when you pot them up individually. However, it depending on your situation. But I plant these individually in individual pot because I have a lot of time today to separate them because it's snowing outside a lot. If you separate them in individual pot like this, okay, when you transplant them in your garden, they're gonna transplant a lot faster. That means sometimes when you transplant your snapdragon or any flowers in your garden, they're going to get shocked, or they're going to stop growing for like a few weeks because they acclimate themselves to the new spot, and also because their roots are disturbed. But if you pot them up individually like this, they tend to acclimate to the garden outside, to their forever home, faster. However, a lot of times I don't have the time, to separate them out in separate pot like this. So I just put them in a whole tray with the soil, and then I'm going to, understand that they might take slower to grow when they're in the garden. Since this guy the only survivor here, I'm gonna put him in a very, very big pot like this. And this leftover soil, I'm gonna reuse it for houseplant. Never waste your soil, okay? Then glue the baby's roots to the soil with water like this. Water will serve as, the glue for babies. And the reason why I plant this one in a big pot, because when you plant your babies in bigger pot like this, with more soil, with more space, they are going to grow a lot faster. And I want this only one survivor baby to grow faster because I plan to take cutting from it, and I am going to multiply it by the cutting. I did this last year. I just, take the cutting when they have about 3 or 4 set of leaves. I cut it where the stem is have a little some hairs. That's the best way to propagate snapdragon from cutting. You have to cut when there's hairs on the stem, right? And then you stick it into the soil, moist soil. Then you spread it from time to time, and eventually they will grow roots, and then you will have more snapdragon from the same variety. I don't even remember what color this is, but I am going to multiply this by cutting. Paste, clean potting mix, and make the potting mix moist, not too wet, not too dry, just moist. And sow the seed about ½ inch apart from each other. Then spray it one more time. And I'm gonna put our baby right here under the grow light and on top of the heat mat.
Cutting down these trees that we lost during the storm. We had a very bad snowstorm, and it did some damage to some of the cedars and some of the pine trees and the holly tree over there. It was a very heavy, wet snow. It stuck to all the branches. Well, if you're from this area, you know what happened. A lot of down trees, a lot of down power lines. A lot of people lost power for several days.
Oh, shit.
What you doing?
That's what I didn't want to happen. Cracked anyway. You filming? I can get a new top for that. It was cracked anyway. I re-cemented it, but you can see look at all the rust in here.
It's gaudy.
This is Gotti's, but we still have the base, and there's that place down in South Jersey. It's like a wholesale fountains in Burbath, so I'll just get a new top for it. So we're very lucky. We didn't have any, no trees fell on our house, nothing fell on our cars, so minimal property damage. I could just match up the bowl and we'll fix that. So yeah, we're pretty fortunate. Some people not so much. So I wanted this limb gone anyway. It was kind of like overhanging this whole area. So remember we talked about that, taking this whole limb out. So the storm did it for me, or it started, and now I'm gonna finish and clean this tree up. So. So Crane was just asking me about this chainsaw because he noticed it was new. We actually got it from a friend of ours. He was sold his house and was moving to a townhouse, so he didn't need it anymore. But so yeah, it's a lightweight Craftsman chainsaw. It's good for small branches. This is great if you don't want to pull out the gas-powered chainsaw. This is a great alternative, and it cuts right through. It does a great job. And Crane can put the link of the description of this chainsaw in his video.
It has been snowing and very, very, very cold for 2 weeks. I can't believe today I am outside, 50 degrees with t-shirt on. Very sunny. It feels so good. The snow is melting very fast and make me so happy. Let's check on the greenhouse. Oh, the forget-me-not. Hello. Yeah, that's why you should not put terracotta pot outside when it will get very cold because it can crack like that. My sweet pea died. Yep, completely dead. Sweet pea can handle frost down to around 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's been very cold, like down to 0 degree Fahrenheit outside, and in the greenhouse probably 10 degrees, So this one died, okay? 2 weeks ago I moved this baby from the basement to outside because the temperature got warmer last week and it's not that cold anymore, so they are doing pretty okay. So when you are gardening, when you grow flowers, you kind of play it by eyes and by ears, you kind of observe what's going on and kind of learn from it. From this sweet pea I learned that different variety can handle cool temperature differently. Some can handle colder temperature, right? That's the first lesson I learned today. The second lesson is that I used to pinch them. When they have about 3 sets of leaves, I just count 1, 2, 3 and then pinch it, on the top. 1, 2, 3 and then pinch it on the top, right? To make sure that they create side branches. But today I learned that if I move the babies in a cooler temperature, and when the top of the little young seedlings, die from the frost, they will naturally create side branches without pinching. And this is something new that I learned, and I am going to see how this baby are going to do, in comparison to my past practice that I always pinch them. This garden seems pretty bare, right? But however, I have a lot of perennials going on underneath the soil. Very excited. And these are the oriental poppies. They are... Oh, look at that bush. We get a lot of snow this year. The snow really break down Jason's tunnel, like the netting tunnel, for the pond. Yep, we get a blizzard and it's a very heavy snow. Not sure if Jason see this yet. He's probably... The daffodil is coming.
So it looks like the deer. Yeah, I chased the deer out of here last night, and I had to fix the rope fence because it was sagging. But yeah, look at just from a little while in the yard. Look at he's eating the holly. Are they supposed to eat holly?
If they're hungry enough.
Jeez. Well, hopefully now that everything's melting, they'll have other options and they won't try to jump in here.
Today is March 5th and it's time to bring our babies outside. However, I am not planting them on planters yet. I am placing them under the roof right there, okay? Because I need to acclimate them to outdoor temperature, weather, climate, okay? If you plant them on a planter right here, they're gonna get full sun, full rain, full wind, full climate, full temperature, you know, they can get shocked. But if you place them on a protect spot like that, you know, close to the house, under the roof, they will, you know, be outdoor, but not fully outdoor yet. Will help them acclimate to, you know, everything outside that is brutal. Also, today is a perfect day because it's kind of cloudy, misty. There's no full sun yet. Strong, hot sun can burn your babies. You want a day like this, you know, not too cold, not too wet. Also, the temperature today is 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for pansy, you know. It's not freezing. At the same time, it's not too hot.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of home. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the light, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about. We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive.
They were planting.
You'll be the last one I think about. When it all breaks down, I'll wait for you right here. And I swear that we got nothing to fear. It's a miracle that you and saw you walking
so nervous.
the line,
He's like the camera.
and the truth may come
I'm going to
as a surprise. That with you I feel alive.
Whenever you move your babies under the full sun, on the first day you should give them a lot of water to make sure that they are fully hydrated. Otherwise, the full sun can burn them. Okay?